Surprise, everybody. I surprised myself. I didn't think I was going to go live today. We'll see if we get anybody in here at the last minute. Is there anybody out there? We got one. I don't know who, but we got one out there watching. I'm trying to get my settings straight. Vicky Dicky, hello, welcome. I've got to get in here and get some settings taken care of here. I have not been able to get with it, y'all. I don't know if it's the weather, the time of year. I'm just lazy. I have no energy to do anything. Well, I've got 6. Like I said, I got to get some settings straight here. How's everybody doing this Sunday afternoon? I wanted to go fishing. That's probably what I should be doing right now is going fishing. I've got Jana Jacob. Hello, Jana. I'll get my chat up here in just a second. Make sure I got my monetization correct. Hello from Myrtle Beach. You're in Myrtle Beach, huh, Jana? Sometimes I don't know if you're in Myrtle Beach or if you're in Wilmington. Trying to get my chat up so I don't have to rely on looking at the screen on the camera. Evidently, most of you ladies or whoever does baking didn't care too much for my butter pie crust for some reason. I don't seem to be getting very many views on that. Let me get my chat up. Where's my chat? There it is. So many things you got to go in there and take care of the settings for when you go live, when you don't schedule it, because you can't schedule it in advance. Oh my goodness. Top chat. I want live chat. We got Edith, Joshua, Jana, Ira. Well, welcome everybody that shows up so far. I'm not doing too bad. I've got 15 that showed up so far, and I've only been live for 4 minutes, and I didn't schedule it, so nobody was expecting this. But I got a little bored, and you know me. My nose is on, I've got just a little bit of a scab left on my nose, but you can see right there, for the most part, it's healed up. And I didn't get black and blue. I mean, my poor eyes are just, I've tried everything on my eyes, you know, all this magical cream that they say that you get and put on your eyes. Save your money because it don't work. It don't work at all. I'm doing great, Edith. I'm just lazy. It's the weather. It's made me just tired. I can't get motivated. I got to get out there and plant onions because I've got red onions, a few white onions, and yellow onions I want to plant for fall to see how the winter gardening will do. Because I've basically got I've got two red onions and one yellow onion over there from the garden that I haven't used. When I use them, they're all gone. So I got to get busy planting me some more. And I've got them. I just haven't gotten out there to plant them. And you know that garlic that I planted the other day? Oh my God, I went out there today to put some scraps in the compost pile. Y'all know who it was laying up in my garlic bed. Y'all know who it was, don't you? Well, that's why my garlic hasn't been growing. I've had Lucky laying up in my garlic bed. So at the end of it, you can see garlic. It's up that tall. And where he's been laying, there's nothing. And I don't know if it's going to come up now or not because I didn't know he was laying in it. I just noticed it'd been a long while since I'd planted it and no garlic coming up. And it's because he's been using it for a bed. He loves to get up in the pots and lay down. And I'd fix him one and give it to him, but he won't settle for one pot. He makes his rounds through all of them. And he'll kill anything that he's laying on. So I had to put sticks all in the garlic bed, the 3 pots that I planted garlic in to keep him from laying down on them. And I'm going to have to do the same with the onions that I plant, either get them planted later tonight or tomorrow. I'll have to put something there to keep him from laying in them. This is Ira. Yeah, hello, Ira. How are you doing? Ira Dorsey. Welcome to our chat. I didn't plan it for today because I wasn't sure I was going to end up being to keep up with the schedule. But I'm here. But I thought I'd get on here and just catch up with everybody. Oh, Ashley Chapman sent me a message, and she said she broke her hip. So she's had hip surgery, hip replacement or whatever they do. And she's already been in the hospital for about a week and a half, and she'll be in there for about another week, she said. And of course, Sandra broke her foot, so that's why she had not been in our lives. We haven't been hearing from her because she broke her foot, and her husband's been having to take care of everything for her. Poor thing. And Joshua has new videos. I'll have to check them out, Joshua. Like I said, Jana, don't worry about it. Take your time whenever you get it sent. And like I said, just the postage and maybe just a couple of dollars for the materials, and that's good. I had sent you an email with the copy of the receipt for I think it was you I sent the copy of the receipt to for the postage. I mean, that's why I hate sending stuff, because the postage is so outrageous. Yeah, you're number 1, Joshua. You're not the king of YouTube yet. Well, you will be. Yeah, I don't I don't know when I'll be going live. I mean, you'll just have to keep up with stuff. What is this? I've got a had a white bar across my screen. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, it was $10 just for that one package. Just for that one plaque. Can you imagine? And I think when I sent Sanders to her, it was like $10.50 because the box was about a half inch bigger. It was the only one I had. I mean, I can't believe it. As light as it was, you wouldn't think the postage was be that much, but it was. You got 100 subscribers. Well, way to go, Joshua. I know it's crazy. All those rings that I was putting up in the giveaways for trivia? Just a little ring that you wear on your finger. How little is that? The way I was sending them, they told me, no, you can't send them that way. You got to have a bubble wrap envelope to put them in because it gets caught going through the belt or something. So I bought the smallest bubble wrap envelope that I could find to mail those rings in. And they were at least $9.50 every time I mailed out a ring. Can you believe that? That's why I hated to send out any prizes because the postage was killing me, y'all. Yeah, I remember you got one of those rings, and I don't know if you noticed the postage on that envelope. I don't know if it was stamped how much it was, but it was like $9 just to mail that ring. And I was going to put it in a little box, and they said, no, even if you put it in that little box, you're going to have to put it in a bubble wrap because the box is too small. So, I mean, it's crazy. And then we got Kathy Clark. Hello, Kathy from South Carolina. I've got a niece that lives in South Carolina. She lives right on the border, 12 miles inside the border. What's on this side of South Carolina? Mississippi? I can't remember the name of the town she lives in. But oh well, she's just 12 miles inside the state line. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. Just the little smallest thing to send in the mail for a trivia prize. The postage on it was outrageous. There's Tamara Douglas. Hello, Tamara. We got Tamara Aimling in the house. And of course, we all know Janet is from Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a beautiful place to be. Beautiful beaches, just like North Carolina. And there's Liz. Hello, Liz. Yeah, everything is expensive. That's the reason I absolutely refuse to pay another $350 just to get the drip in my kitchen faucet fixed. I paid $350 plus what I'd already paid for the sink to have that put in. And it wouldn't have taken him 15 more minutes to put that stem in the faucet, but he told me it was an old one. You couldn't find the parts anymore, and if you could, they'd cost as much as the repair would be. And that was bull because, they were going to charge me $350 to come out. They were going to replace the whole faucet. And I almost agreed to do that because I had bought a new faucet, but I really just wanted the drip fixed, and that was $21. But they were going to charge me another $350 to come out and replace the faucet because they were going to go underneath and replace my lines, and I don't need my lines replaced. I know they're copper, but they don't leak, they're fine, so what's the problem? I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I had 2 subscribers that recommended that I do it myself because I did it myself. Cost me $21 plus tax, and I saved $350, and my faucet's not dripping right now. And there's Vegan Menu. Hello, Vegan Menu. How things going with you right now? Well, I was kind of anxious about doing it, but I had a Linda, one of my subscribers, that sent me a message saying you can do it yourself because I did mine. And then I had a gentleman leave me a message that said, it's so easy to fix, you'll be glad you did. All you got to do is take the screw off the top of the handle, take the handle off, undo that nut that's holding the stem down, take the stem out, and you go down under the stem and there's like a little spring and a washer. You pop that up with a little screwdriver and go get the replacement parts, which I did, 21 something. And I came home and, I wished I'd have videoed the first of the video, the beginning of it, where I was trying to loosen everything. I almost gave up, y'all. And I had the right tools. I had pipe wrenches. I had, what do they call it? Channel locks. I had, what is that other, maybe that is a channel lock or whatever they needed for the pipe. But it was on there so tight, I didn't think I had moved it at all. I finally gave up, really. I absolutely gave up. I put the handle back on, put the screw in, tightened it down, went out there, turned the water on, came back in the house. I had water going everywhere. I said, oh my God, I did loosen it because there's water coming out. So I ran back outside to the water meter and I turned it off, came in, cleaned up all the water, which was everywhere. Took the handle back off, got the channel locks and everything I needed. And lo and behold, when I put them on this time, it turned real easy. And I went ahead and was able to pop that stem out like this. And I did look it up on the YouTube. I put in how to replace the stem in your kitchen faucet. Before I'd always been saying, how do you replace your faucet, which was the whole thing. And that was a whole rigmarole because you had to disconnect pipes and all kind of stuff, which I didn't need to do that. So finally I put in there, how do you replace the stem in your kitchen faucet? And lo and behold, there was a video that told you exactly how to take your handle off, undo that sleeve that's holding the stem down, and then pop it out and replace it. So thank God, through the encouragement of 2 of my subscribers and determination on my part, because like I said, I gave up. And then I had reached the point of no return because I couldn't leave the water leaking out. I got it fixed, y'all, for $21. I'm proud of myself. Pat myself on the back, y'all. And there's Ashley. Yeah, Ashley, I told them all about you. I think it was your hip, right? You broke your hip and you've had to have hip replacement or hip surgery. And you're still in the hospital, I assume. Unless your second week is up. I don't know. Yeah, she's still in the hospital. So y'all might want to remember her in prayer. That's why I put her on our prayer list with the other video that I had. Oh, Jana. Well, everybody tells me if you don't know how to do something and you got to do it yourself, look it up on YouTube, because YouTube will have a video on it, and God knows they do. That YouTube saved my life, with my getting that stem out and replacing it. Like I said, and with the encouragement of 2 of my subscribers that kind of gave me the courage to even try. And I'm so glad I did, because it was so easy. You go home Monday. Well, good, Ashley. That means you're doing good. And there's Dylan. Dylan R. You rock. Yeah, well, I was kind of doubtful about it all until I finally got it done. And oh my God, you cannot imagine the feeling I had when I got it all put together, the new stem, the new washer, the new spring, got it all tightened down, went out there and turned the water on and came back in, and there was no leak. There was no leak. I did have the cold water left on, so I did have to turn the cold water off because I did have water coming in the sink from that, but it wasn't going all over the kitchen. And the hot side, was the side that I was working on, was fixed. The new stem, the new washer and spring, that took care of the problem. And somebody that was a little stronger than me and would have had no problem loosening that sleeve that was holding the stem down, they could have done that in 15 minutes. You know, if they had the stem and everything already here, they could have gotten the old one out and replaced the new one in 15 minutes. With me, I went in and I took the old stem out. I took everything that I pulled out, put it in a little baggie, and I went to Home Depot with it. And I asked one of the guys that was down that aisle, I said, "Can you help me find these parts?" He looked at me and he said, "Well, what brand is it?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I don't know, but you sell them here." And he looked at what I had, and he looked over there at the counter and he started pulling off the packages. And he said, "Well, here's your stem. That's exactly like the one you got, and it's a Delta." And then he come up with a package of the little washers with the springs, and you get 4 to a package, 4 springs and 4 washers, but it was Delta. And he said, "You pick out the one that you need to go in yours." And I guessed at it. I picked out the one I thought that it was, that would fit and work, and lo and behold, it was. And I did get the stem in right, because if you turn it one way, it'll have a never-ending flow of water coming out of your spigot. You got to have it turned right. And I remembered that I think the thing was turned to the inside toward the faucet, and that's the way I put it back in. I don't know how to explain it. But lo and behold, that was the correct way, because it has not dripped or leaked since I replaced the stem and the washers and stuff in there. You do not care for cottage cheese. I like cottage cheese. In fact, I've made some and I've got it in the freezer that I need to get it out. I need to use it in a lasagna or something. I don't remember how long it's been in there, but I don't want to keep it too long. Yeah, I said that's the best way to do, is pull that stem out, pull the washer and the spring out that you have to pop out with a little screwdriver. And I just took all that to Home Depot with me, and they were able to match it up with one they had. So thank goodness it's fixed. I have no more drippy faucet, y'all. Aren't you proud of me? I don't know if it was in a motel or not, but I know there was another shooting somewhere in Dallas. It seemed like 3 people were shot. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about, Vegan Menu. Is that the word one? I think 3 people were injured or shot. And there's Marty. I'm doing fine, Marty. How are you? It was a beheading. Oh my God. Was there 3 people involved? Is that the one that... Because I heard something that was going on in Dallas, and I never did get the whole story, but I thought I heard 3 people were involved. And it looked like it might have been at a motel. They were showing it from the side. The building was I think it was kind of a green building. And there's Gladys. Hey, Gladys. No, I've not heard from Anthony. But was there 3 people involved in that beheading, Vegan Menu, or was it just that one person that was killed? Because the one I heard part of, it seemed like they said there was 3 people. I tell you, you don't know. I told a friend of mine, back, I don't know how many of y'all saw the video that I did like a year or so ago of how I fixed like a little cot that I could lay down on in the back of my car. for when I travel from here to North Carolina, which it's a 24-hour drive straight through. And I said, I don't like to be on the road and then fall asleep or, get so tired I'm falling asleep at the wheel, because it's scary. You can, wreck the car and kill yourself. The fix it lady smile. Look it up after the live when you have. Yeah, I will. Good afternoon, Jenny. How are you? Jeannie. Yeah, but I haven't been live, so I haven't heard from Anthony. Jeannie's doing great. Well, that's good. I tell you, I don't know what this world's coming to. I mean, it was Charlie Kirk, and then there was more shootings at schools, and then there was this beheading at some motel in Dallas. You don't know where to go anymore. I mean, that's why I fixed like a removable, portable type cot that I can put in my car, and it allows me to stretch out completely. The first part of my body's up at where the back seat is. My feet and everything are down in the trunk, the back of the car, because my back seat lays down. And people didn't understand why I would do that. Why not just get a motel room so you can take a shower and get a good night's sleep? I said, because I'm afraid I may not wake up in the morning. With all the stuff going on in this world, I don't trust staying at a motel by myself. I really don't. I feel more comfortable in my car with my doors locked at a truck stop rest area on the interstate where there's other people traveling, doing the same thing I'm doing. They're pulling over to get a few minutes rest so they can continue on with their travel. And I feel like I'm safer there than I would be in a motel where I don't know anybody, I mean, I know I don't know anybody at the truck stop rest area on the interstate either, but they're basically there for the same reason I am. They're not there for no good. Or I haven't heard about it anyway. I haven't heard of mass shootings at truck stops yet, or rest areas on the interstate. You saw that video, Jana? It was funny because after I made the video, every time I took my car in to get anything done for it, they were looking in my windows and checking out my car to see, I guess, if the cop was in the car or if I'd opened the trunk lid to have somebody put anything in the back of my car. They were looking to see if there was anything attached to the side of the car, but there's nothing attached to the car. That frame just fits in perfectly, and then I lay my mat out and I've got me a little bed. And when I don't need it, the whole thing comes out and my car is just like new. I mean, there's no attachments, no drill holes, no nothing in my car. I know. I mean, it's awful. They need God in their life, that's for sure. Evidently, they were not brought up in a God-fearing home, for sure. I don't know. It's beyond me, I tell you. And it just goes to show you, you don't know where you're safe. I mean, we've had drive-by shootings right here in this neighborhood. It's been years ago, and there was only one that I know of. But my neighbor that lived at the end of the street, right on the corner, their house is not there now because it was a mobile home. And she was the pool attendant when our swimming pool was open right across the street. Oh, goodness. Why is that coming on? Or it just went off. I thought I turned it off. But anyway, I was at the pool one day and she come over and she started talking about that somebody did a drive-by shooting at their house the night before. I said, "You kidding me?" She said, "No." She said, "Last night somebody literally drove by our house and shot through the house." And she said, "Me and Al were laying in the bed, and of course Lisa was in the other end of the house, their daughter, in her bed, because I think they had bedrooms in each end like I do here. And they shot through her bedroom. They shot through the wall from the street side, and it went all the way across the bed and went out the back wall." She said it was like that far above our heads. She said, "Thank God we didn't raise up at that particular moment, because we'd have caught a bullet." And I said, "Do you have any idea who would have done that?" And she said, "No." I thought to myself, my goodness. So I guess they just patched up the hole on each side of the house where the bullet came in and then went out. And I never heard about it after that. I don't think they ever found out who done it. And God knows where the bullet went. I mean, the bullet probably came down the street this way somewhere before it ever dropped to the ground or went into something and stayed there, because no thicker than mobile home walls are, you know the bullet went in one wall and straight out the other and kept going till it hit a tree or something. So you're not safe at home. You're not safe at school. You're not safe in church. You're not safe out in public speaking. You're not safe in a grocery store. You're not safe in a mall. So where are you safe anymore, y'all? There's nowhere you're 100% safe. Janice Mayer is in Oceanside, California. Well, thank you for coming to the live chat today. Exactly, Jeannie, you're not safe anywhere. Just getting out of your bed or laying down in your bed at night, you're risking your life. Some idiot could come down your street and shoot through your house like they did her house, and the bullet may hit you. They were just lucky that the bullet was 6 or 7 inches taller than what their heads were in the bed. Or they'd have been shot. They'd have caught a bullet. I mean, it's scary. So that's the reason I always say I thank God for every day I wake up and I'm breathing. Because you don't know. You honestly do not know anymore. Yeah, you just have to live your life, do the best you can, and say a prayer. Say a prayer that you'll be up in the next day. I mean, I feel fortunate that I've reached my age, you know? Because there's so many people that don't. There's so many infants that die. There's young children that die early. There's teenagers that are gone. There's people in their mid-20s that never live out of their 20s. Same with 30s and 40s and 50s, you know? So I feel fortunate that I've reached my age, you know? And I've tried to live every day the best of my knowledge, to do the right thing, to have a good life. I never try to hurt anyone. I try not to say anything bad about people. I treat other people how I'd like for them to treat me. You know, that's the way I've been all my life, I guess. And maybe it's paid off. I have no idea. Yeah, exactly, Jana. You just don't know. You never know. You just have to live every day the best of your ability and hope for the best. Yeah, I do too, Joshua. It's a shame, but you know it's not the guns that do the shooting. It's the people, unfortunately. It's the crazy minds out there today. I told some friends of mine, I said, you know, it's almost like people are hypnotized to go out there and do this mass shooting or something, you know. And I know we probably shouldn't even be talking about this on the YouTube channel. I don't think they like for you to talk about this topic, but yep, we've survived, Donna. And there's Anthony. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. How's it going, Anthony? I did too, Kathy. That's the way my schools always were. You said the morning prayer, and you said the Pledge of Allegiance. They don't do that now. And unfortunately, when I was substitute teaching, when the teachers did get the students to say the Pledge of Allegiance, the Mexican students refused. They said that was not their flag, that was not Mexico's flag, so they were not pledging allegiance to a country that was not theirs. So why are they here? You know, why do they come to America when they don't want to honor America? Your favorite ghost hunter, Anthony. Oh no, you're sick, Anthony. I'm sorry. I mean, that home builder, I heard him tell one of the co-op, the electric company workers, I heard a little bit of the conversation. It wasn't anything bad. It was just the fact that he was saying, well, in Mexico, you can do this and you can do that when you build a house and all that. And the line worker told him, he said, well, this is not Mexico. And when you're here, you got to go by the rules and regulations of this subdivision, of our electric company, the easement laws, and everything else. It's not Mexico. Ours is a great age. Yeah, when I've reached the age I am and I'm still breathing and I'm still walking, I feel so fortunate. I think it's a great age that I made it this far. Yeah, I think they should bring that back. I don't think they ever should have done away with the prayer first thing when the day got started or the Pledge of Allegiance. But I've substitute taught in many of the schools out here, and the principal would come over the intercom and say, okay, we're going to have a moment of silent prayer, and then after we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And when all the regular students, you know, put their hand up across their heart and started saying the Pledge of Allegiance, I've looked at the Mexican students, and I know they've got a right to choose. They have their own opinions and that type of thing. But they just downright refused to even say the Pledge of Allegiance, much less cross their heart, because they said it was not their country, and they would only pledge allegiance to Mexico. So I'm thinking, well, why are they not living in Mexico? I don't know. I mean, you know, like I said, they're entitled to their opinion, to their choice. Yeah, unfortunately, I've heard that, Liz. In Ohio, it's really bad. In the bigger cities, it's a lot worse than it is in the smaller country towns like I live in. I mean, I know stuff like that goes on, but you hardly ever hear about it. I know there was two women that went to a restaurant, a new restaurant right here in town, and one of them's husband, as they came out to get in the car and got in the car to leave, he shot them. He killed them. I guess it was a jealous, irate, mad husband or something. I never got the full story on that. And then one other time, there was a missing female. She'd been missing for many years. And when the lake was really low one time, I mean extremely low, they found a pickup that was submerged in the water behind one of the older motels that was right on the lake. It's around where the Mesquite barbecue restaurant is now. It's real close to that little motel. It's just a strip motel that you like drive in, and there's motel rooms on each side, and it goes straight down to the water. They found her truck submerged in the water right at the bank. But the water had been deep enough that the truck had been covered for many, many years. And then all of a sudden the water was so low you could see the pickup. And her skeleton was in the front seat. So she'd been there for many, many years, but her skeleton was in the front seat with her purse and everything, just like she had went in the water. And I never did hear if that was foul play, if it was suicide, was there a malfunction, did she accidentally go into the lake and couldn't get out of the truck, or what happened. But, there's all kind of stuff like that goes on everywhere. You just, a lot of times, don't hear about it. And there's Pat Watson. Hello, Pat. How's Pat doing? Yeah, you just, like I said, you got to live every day the best of your ability. Live it almost like it's your last day. But don't do anything to hurt someone or hurt yourself, or don't do anything illegal or anything like that. I'm just saying, make the most of your day. Be productive, and just live life to the fullest, the best you can, without doing anything bad. I mean, that's been my motto all my life. I don't know how to get in trouble. What little bit of trouble I've gotten into found me, unfortunately, over something I probably never even did or thought about doing. So exactly, vegan menu. If you're a person that hurts someone else, you have no life. You live through the people you're hurting. The vegan menu said, LOL, that's cute, Linda. Well, it might have been floating. I don't know. But, after it had been there for so many years, the water probably soaked into everything that was in her purse. And it was probably just laying in the seat or the front of the truck or something, because the windows were up, from what I understand. But over some period of time, I'm sure water got into it. And I really don't know where the purse was. I just know the purse was in the cab of the truck, put it that way. They found her skeleton, and even her purse that she had with her was in the cab of the truck. Now, where it was, on the seat or the floor or where, I don't know. But it was there where she was. Joshua said, I'm so glad my door hinges are replaced by maintenance guy, Linda. I would imagine if you did live in an apartment, you had to put... Imagine if you did live in an apartment, you'd have to put in work order. What? I don't know. Put in a work order to do a live? I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, I just thought I'd go live today, catch up with everybody, let everybody know I haven't forgotten about you. I think about my subscribers every day. I think about you every day. I do a video and post one and, wonder what everybody's doing. And I'm so glad that people like Jana and a lot of you subscribers and Sandra and... oh, now I just forgot her name. Oh, my goodness. Ashley let me know that she was in the hospital, because I would not have known, I would not have known that she was in the hospital. I would not have known that Sandra broke her foot. But she sent me a letter with a money order. Oh, in fact, I haven't put the money order in the bank. I've been so busy I forgot about it. Postage and stuff. I got to remember that. Monday, I'll have to get that put it in my bank. And Pat said just had a pacemaker. Oh, wow. You're so tired. Well, if you're sick, you probably are tired. Yeah, sound like you need to take you some vitamins and build your immune system up, and then you won't get sick. You're tired and sleepy too? Well, after I ate a little bit of lunch today and I drank me a cup of coffee, I don't know what it is. I got so sleepy. I just had to go lay over in the recliner and I turned my massager on and I tried to go to sleep, but I couldn't. But I was so sleepy, I felt like I would have fallen asleep. I'm so glad they replaced all three on the bottom one, in the middle one, at the top. Squeak, they all squeak. A pacemaker is a blessing. Well, I don't know anything about that. I haven't reached the point where I've got to have a pacemaker yet, but that sounds pretty drastic. But hey, if it works and it keeps you alive and that's what you need, more power to the modern medicine today, There was so many years ago they didn't have pacemakers. And what happened? People just died. You wanted coffee, but you can't drink any right now? Exactly, Kathy. That's why I have a Facebook account. I can keep up with a lot of my family in North Carolina. I keep up with most of them on Facebook because they always are posting pictures or something on Facebook, that I can see. Yeah, I understand that, Liz. Once you get a house paid off, as long as it takes you to make those payments and get it paid for, you don't want to go buy another one. You don't want payments again. I don't want payments. That's the reason I keep redoing this one, and I'm just going to turn it into like a log cabin. Well, most of the inside is done in like a wood look anyway. So that's why I've been redoing my floors in the wood. I haven't, I've got linoleum down in the living room and kitchen. I like this floor. If I could put wood down and put that on top of it, I'd love it. But I'm afraid if this is ripped up, it would be tore all to pieces and it wouldn't be worth saving. So if I do put a wood floor down in the kitchen in the living room, I'll use the wood for a while, and then I may put a linoleum or something similar to what I've got on the floor now on top of it eventually, maybe. I sure do, Gladys. I think about you quite often, wondering how you are. And we got Pam in the house. Well, hey, I was late coming to my party. It was way after 3 o'clock before I got here. I don't even know what time it was I went live. It was almost an hour ago. But it was after 3. Yeah, we say prayers for all the subscribers. I mean, when I ask the blessing, from in my videos and my cooking videos, you notice I might mention somebody's name if they had a special request. But I always say all my subscribers, all my family, all the people that are in need of prayer. Because the list is so long. There's so many people that are in need of prayer. And you can't just go down the list and mention all their names because it's impossible. I don't even know a lot of them's name. You needed a good laugh, Anthony. Oh. Well, if you'd have seen me, I mean, I did get hurt because I did bust my nose, but it was funny. I was working on this spring, trying to get it down in this little contraption and release it inside it. And I had a pair of pliers I was clamping it down and getting it inside. And just as I was about to get it in there and release the pliers, it popped up and popped me right between the eyes. And it hurt because that was right on my bone on my nose. And I just knew it bled and bled and bled. It's just a little place. And I still got a scab up there, but it's healed up pretty much. I just knew as hard as it hit and as bad as it hurt, I was going to end up with 2 black eyes, at least with a black nose, but it didn't discolor at all, which surprised me because usually I thought if you get hit like on your nose between your eyes, you know, it blackens your eyes and everything. And I said, man, my eyes are already swollen. I'll look twice as bad if they're black and blue. Well, Anthony, you gave me the closest look at Honey. I know that was scary because I could, you know, that spring could have popped up and got my eye just as easy as my nose. And if it had hit my eye as hard as it landed on my nose, I'm not sure it wouldn't have put my eye out. So needless to say, I haven't messed with that spring anymore. I threw it down and I haven't touched it again. And I'm not going to. You had chicken and pasta and green beans last night? Well, I had some of my chicken pot pie last night. But I wanted something different today, so you'll see that in the video tomorrow. I had to eat something different. I can't eat chicken pot pie for 5 days in a row. Glad you're not cross-eyed. But you can, I mean, you see right there, I still do have a little scab right on my nose where it hit. And I had a little place right there, but it healed up pretty fast. But it hurt. It was like somebody took a baseball bat and hit me on the nose right between my eyes. That seems like how hard it hit my nose when it hit. It's funny you should mention that because I just happened to by accident come across this video where this woman was getting her nails done and she had false nails put on and they were all crooked. I mean, they were not going straight. They were going out and in and every other which way. And then they flipped over to the technician that was doing it and he was cross-eyed. So everything he did was out of whack, you know. I mean, he looked at the camera and it was like, ah. I guess y'all saw me with my eyes crossed. My brother who made the food last night, I said thank you to him, and he said, I know vegan menu. I thought about that later. I said I could have lost my eye easy. I gave y'all a laugh. How do you like me looking cross-eyed? Oh. But I laughed at that little video when I saw it. The nail technician was cross-eyed and he was doing her nails and they were all crooked. Yep, it's been a while, Joshua. But you've been staying in touch with messages to the videos. I've been reading them. Been answering them too. Because it's funny, I remember when I was a kid growing up, all the kids would go cross-eyed all the time. And I remember our parents or teachers telling us, y'all, your eyes are going to stay like that if you don't stop. They said, one of these days you're going to cross your eyes and they're going to freeze and you're not going to be able to straighten them back up. Yep, that's right. If there was a real ghost in that house, yeah, Anthony stayed a lot longer than I would have. Okay, Anthony, I hope you get feeling better real quick. We'll be saying a prayer for you so you'll feel better. My eyes still feel funny from where I went cross-eyed a little while ago. I guess because I haven't done that in so many years, it really pulled the muscles in my eyes to cross them like that. Oh, I'm crazy, y'all. There's no telling what you're going to see on my channel. Just wait till you see that video tomorrow. At the very beginning of it, I was showing these torch lights that I bought. And I'm not going to show you what I did. You got to see the video. But I was watching it and I said, I can't believe I acted that stupid. Halloween is coming. What's the best costume you've ever saw? I don't know. There's been a lot of them. My daughter had a neat one years and years ago. It was a belly dance costume, which was real neat. And she was actually taking belly dance classes at the time, I think. So it was probably her real costume. But there's been a lot of good ones. It's hard to think. I never myself spent a lot of money for Halloween costumes, not for myself. Halloween is a fun time, I guess. And I usually put something up in the end window, like my pumpkin, my lighted pumpkin. I keep it year after year, and I always put it up in the end window and light it up. So I got a lit pumpkin in the window. Sometimes I put other stuff around it. I don't know what I'll do with it this year. We'll see. But I never put Halloween stuff out at least until October. And it's almost October, but I don't put anything out at least till October 1st or after. And what is it, another week? And it'll be October? I love the Peanut Show. I don't know if I've ever seen the Peanut Show. I mean, I've got a lot of little Halloween decorations, but last year I didn't put them all up. I didn't hardly put anything up last year except my pumpkin. And I put that in the window every year because at night it just looks like that pumpkin is hanging in midair, all lit up right by itself. Because you can't see the house or the windows or anything because I put that black screen behind it. The Peanut Show, Charlie Brown. Oh, okay. I haven't seen Charlie Brown in years and years and years. 3 days till October. Yeah, I knew it was right around the corner. This coming week, it'll be October. So I'll have to be digging out some Halloween stuff. But I heard one guy say that he drove by the house one night, late at night, and everything was dark. And all of a sudden, here's this orange pumpkin lit up, out just hanging in midair. He said it was kind of freaky, just hanging up there all by itself. I said, well, that's the effect I wanted. I wanted it to freak somebody out. That pumpkin just there in midair, all lit up. And I bought that so many years ago. And actually, I think I brought it with me from North Carolina. I'm not sure. You made your mask with a paper bag? Seemed like I remember some about that because we'd make them at school too. Yeah, I got these new torch lights that I want to put up. I think that'll look kind of neat for Halloween because they look like, like they're supposed to look like a real fire burning inside, a real lit torch. And they're solar lights. I've never had any before, so I'm anxious to get them out. I have an original Halloween decoration this year. You put your jack-o'-lantern up on the front porch today? Well, I might put mine up tonight. I don't know. Pat says pantyhose with a nose hole. I never did wear pantyhose on my face for a mask. I reopened the YouTube app. It closed and reopened. Oh, the one that I made, that's the one you're talking about, Jana? Well, I'm glad you liked it. I had a good time making it. And I still got those other plaques up. I'll probably give them away in October. That's what I'm waiting on anyway. I'm still planning on giving them away, but I didn't want to give them away and then October come and then have nothing. So they're going to be given away during October. Kwong Wing said, Glenda, I saw your wonderful chicken pot pie and you fixing the leaky faucet. Well, thank you, Kwong Wing. Thank you very much. I'm glad you watched it. One time by me, people played 666 on one Halloween, and that's what came out. My eyes are popping out to hear such things. Wow. And there's Sandra. How are you doing today, Sandra? How's your foot? I was getting ice water in the dark when I broke my foot. Oh my goodness. Well, the worst thing I did when I got out of bed in the night, in the dark, was I stepped on a scorpion and it didn't feel good. He stung me up my heel of my foot. And it felt like a hot dagger went through my leg all the way up to my knee. But I can't imagine getting up to get water and then all of a sudden you break your foot. Oh my goodness. Did you fall, trip, or what, Sandra? Linda, is your nose all well now? I was so glad you didn't close it. Yeah, you see right there. I still got a little bitty scab, but it's pretty well healed up. I wish my baggy eyes would go away. I've tried all those creams and are supposed to get rid of swollen eyes like that. None of them work. It would. It is a stress fracture. Oh, okay. And there's Todd Wilson. Hello. No, I haven't, Todd. What did Trump get passed now on Medicare? Oh my God, Sandra. You hit a box of flooring and it almost took you down. Oh wow. Yeah, I love that story too, Jana, the Headless Horseman. I watch that movie quite often. Well, thank you, Kwang Wing. It'd be nice if I could get rid of my swollen eyes. They just look terrible. Part B is going up to 200. But we're already paying, what, about 190? I don't even remember. They need to do away with the supplement part. They need to give you A and B, and it should cover everything that you need medically, 100%. You shouldn't have to go get a supplement to take care of the other 20%. Because I pay $200 a month just for that. A little more than $200 a month. Cigna, I've had Plan G with Cigna, and they take care of the 20% that Medicare does not pay. But you know, $200 a month is a lot of money coming out of your check every month. Letters are going out September 30th to October 15th. Pat has Cigna. Yeah, but it goes up, you know. It started out like at 159 and now it's up, I think, a couple of dollars over $200 a month. Use Charlie Brown movies with the grandchildren. uh, my allergies are bothering me. Like I said, I was walking around the yard before I came in and decided to go live and found Lucky laying in my garlic bed. That's why my garlic had not been coming up. He's been laying on it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that cat. I had to go around the yard and get me a bunch of sticks and stick it up in the pot to where he can't lay down in it. It goes up a little with the, yeah, everything goes up. And I don't know how in the world he was laying in that garlic bed because there was ants in that dirt. I got him out of there and was putting sticks down in there, and I ended up with ants on my hand, and they were stinging me, and I could see them crawling in the dirt. I thought to myself, Lucky, how in the world could you lay in that pot? But evidently the ants weren't bothering him. It goes, I think it should have single pro. And then to give Lucky and Buddy some tuna for dinner tonight. I give them tuna every once in a while. The only problem, the times I give it to them, then for days after that, they're expecting more tuna, and I'm not giving them tuna fish every time. I don't really think it would be good for them to give them tuna fish every meal. They'd probably love it, but the cat food has a lot of stuff in it that they really need to be healthy. So I keep tuna fish here not only for me to eat, but to give them a treat once in a while. Who wants pig feet? Not me. Donna says, me. You can have my portion, Donna. You use milk jugs for a mask, cut them up, and paint them with the children. Well, that's kind of cute. I don't want pig's feet. I've never eaten pig's feet. My dad used to love them, but it just grossed me out to see him sit there and take them pig feet out of that jar and eat them. Ooh, I said, no. There's just some things in life I refuse to eat, and pig's feet is one of them. Most of the time, Sandra, I don't see any. I think I've seen 2 scorpions in the house. No, 3 scorpions in the house in the past year, whole year, 12 months. And the 2 of those that were alive were in the kitchen sink that I showed y'all in the little video. And then I found another one that was in the floor. He got in a little spider web right at the corner of the stove, and he was dead. It was a little tiny one, and I haven't seen any since. But I keep poison out that takes care of roaches or any other kind of creepy crawlers, and it's supposed to be good for the scorpions too. So I think that's one reason that's keeping them down, especially if they get in the house other than coming up the pipes in the sink. I never usually see black widows. Jana's mom would hang Indian corn on the front door screen during fall. Jana's going to tell us a story. I don't like pig's feet, period. I don't care if they got toenails on them or not. I'm not touching a pig's foot pickled. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a few things I refuse to eat. Snails is one of them, or escargot, whatever you want to call it. Pig's feet, pig's brain, souse meat, pig intestines. I'm not eating any of that stuff. I'm sorry. You ever had mutton? I don't think I have. I don't know what mutton is really. Oh, gross, Jana. Your grandmother got up one night to go to the bathroom and just did not turn on the light. She sat down and felt water on her bottom. It was a mouse. I just did a pot pie with chicken, Wilson. If you'll look at my butter pastry video, I make a chicken pot pie with that pastry, that dough. Mutton is sheep. Okay, well, no, I've not had it then, because I've never eaten sheep that I'm aware of. I've eaten goat one time, and that was when I was working at the CPA office, and Terry, his wife, was raised on a goat farm, so they get goat meat from her parents' farm every year and keep it in the freezer. And it come time to clean out the freezer because it was going to be refilled with goat meat. And he brought me some, and I cooked it. I cooked it just like you would beef stew, and it was really good. It was greasier than just regular beef, but it was really good. Right, I should have had eye protection on messing with that spring, but I didn't. And I've got safety glasses around this house. I've got probably 4 pair of them. I probably would, Sandra. I don't know. Where I was raised, people didn't raise sheep. They really didn't raise goats for market either, but they raised pigs and cows and stuff like that, chickens. You had to put sticks in your garden for the same reason. Well, every pot that I plant seeds in that I don't have a shade cloth fastened over, or like I planted those little garlic bulbs, I've got to put sticks in them to keep Lucky from laying down in those pots, because he'll lay down in every one of them. And then I'm wondering why in the world is it, because I didn't think of him laying in them. I never didn't see him lay in them. But there was like 3 garlics that come up 6 inches tall at one end of the pot, and there was nothing at the other end of any of them. I had 3 pots of garlic, and he'd been taking turns, I guess, laying in all of them because the garlic wasn't coming up. Always keep the top toilet seat closed. Now it scared me to death if I ever went to the bathroom at night. I went to sit down on the commode and there was a mouse or rat in the commode. Oh my God. I've never had found anything in my commode when I went at night like that. Well, I saw you can buy different things, to lay in there, but it's basically does the same thing that sticks will do if you put them down in there. So I said, well, I'm not going to spend the money to buy something when I can just use sticks. But I haven't been thinking to do it. And I may have lost my garlic that I've just planted because of it, because there's no telling how many nights he's been laying in those pots. Oh, don't see snakes around here usually. Oh, wow. Todd won bingo last night. Or Wilson. He won $50 playing bingo. Yeah, Janet, I agree. If I ever saw a snake in my commode, that would cause me great emotional trauma. Oh, yeah, if I ever saw a snake in my commode, that would cause me great emotional trauma for sure. Yeah, so y'all better be watching my videos because the way you're going to win any of the Halloween plaques that I've already made, that I made in those videos, will be from questions on videos. Yeah, I remember you asking me about snakes in the garden, but I don't ever see any. I mean, I know there's snakes around. Years ago, there was snakes around here, but the only time I ever saw one was when they were dead on the street where a car hit them. I never did see one in the yard. And now there's so much traffic out here. There's so many homes being built that the snakes that people see are down below me where water is or where the creeks are. They're not up here on top of this hill where it's so dry. Well, if you hear them, you can answer the questions, Joshua. You don't necessarily have to see them to be able to answer the questions that I'll have. Because I know a couple of blocks down below me, people see snakes all the time. But it's because they live in an area where there's a small creek that runs down by their house. And anytime you have a lot of water or even a ditch that holds water, which I don't have here, usually you'll see the snakes hanging around it. And here it's more or less cottonmouths or water moccasins. I don't think I've ever seen a rattlesnake up here. Oh, I just read that comment and it disappeared. I don't know who got rid of it. I thought to myself, am I seeing things? I think he was born blind, Jana. Oh, I don't know, Joshua. I've never measured the distance on it. I don't know. No, I have not ever had Rocky Mountain oysters. I don't ever want them either. I know what they are. I don't want to eat them. Little buddy scratching at the door. It's almost 5 o'clock. So, have you ever eaten any, Liz? Can I have a crown? What kind of crown you want, Sandra? No, I've never eaten Rocky Mountain oysters, and I've never eaten chicken feet, and I don't want either one. I can do without. Why not give it a try? I don't want any. I'm not. I wouldn't take my money and buy them. I would not buy them for them. It's what I say, Kathy. No chicken feet for me. I don't want them. I don't want pig's feet, chicken feet, mountain oysters, escargot, or snails. I don't want any of that. I don't want souse meat. I don't want hog brains. Don't want any of that. I can do without. I will live perfectly fine for the rest of my life without it. Well, Wilson, you can eat all the chicken feet you want. You can eat all the hog feet you want. Sandra said I would not do it for free. I wouldn't either. You'd have to pay me a lot of money to even try pig's feet. I don't think I'd even want to think about touching a chicken's foot. There's nothing on chicken's foot but bone and skin. That's gross. Let me get little Buddy and Lucky some food before he tears a hole in my door. I got him some if I could even say it, with ocean whitefish and tuna sauce. That's the fur baby's dinner tonight. All right, buddy, I'm coming. I'm coming. He said it was dinner time. He's afraid I forgot him. I'm back. They're out there chowing down. Oh, man. Yeah, at least they'd have to offer me $1 million at least to even think about trying hog's feet, chicken feet, mountain oysters, or anything like that. And then it would be very doubtful that I would. But I might. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do it. But hey, if you got pet chickens, you might. They paint them on dogs. You know, people take their dogs in to have them groomed. They come out with painted toenails. I took my big German Shepherd. She weighed 100 pounds, lady. I took her into the vet to get her bathed one time. And she had long hair. Her hair was about that long. She's a beautiful dog. But she came, when I went to pick her up, she had a million and one red or pink little ribbon bows all over her body. Tied to her hair. And her toenails were painted red to match the ribbon. She looked a sight. We ended up with little satin bows all over our yard for like 2 or 3 weeks. Well, usually the fish heads, I cut off the fish and throw them away. I don't usually even cook the fish heads. But there's some people that make a fish head soup. Well, there's chitlins, but it's actually the fat from the hog meat. Or cracklings I'm thinking of. I don't want the innards of a chicken. Monkeys and chimps have naturally painted looking nails. Don't waste the fish heads. Well, I'm not cooking them. I'll feed them to the animals. Yeah, if you bury fish heads in your garden, it makes good fertilizer. That's what the settlers did many, many years ago. You know, they didn't have fertilizer like we do, the processed fertilizer that's for sale on the market. They didn't have that years ago. So when they went fishing, any of their fish scraps, they bury in the garden. They buried it in a row. Same way with their scraps from their kitchen table, if there was any. Usually there wasn't any scraps left because they ate everything that was cooked. But that all went in the area where they're going to plant their garden, and it helped fertilize their garden, their plants. Yes, it does, Pat. I buy fish emulsion, which is the next thing to that, and I mix it in with the compost tea when I water my plants. I'm sorry. I'm just having an allergy attack, I guess. Try to go live, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if you're planting in the garden, in the ground, when you go to plant a tomato bush, if you got a little fish, dig a hole, put that fish down in there, and then plant that tomato bush on top of it, I'll guarantee you that tomato bush will grow and produce like crazy. Most people don't do that today because there's so many animals that would dig up that fish. You know, they dig up your plant trying to get the fish out of the ground. Yeah, it's small, MT, that fish emulsion. Oh, it smells pretty strong. But it only takes a little bit to dilute it down in water to water your plants with. And it's good fertilizer for your garden. I use it all the time. In fact, I'm due to use it again now. I need to put some more of that fish emulsion in my compost tea when the next time I water with my buckets. And there's Virgo Boy 77. Hello, Virgo Boy. Oh, man. I wish I could give somebody my allergies. Well, thank you, Joshua. You have a good night and have a good day tomorrow. Be safe. It's all allergies, Virgo boy. I don't usually get sick or colds, but I got allergies and they drive me crazy. Yeah, everybody tell Joshua good night. He's leaving us. He's probably going to get dinner. I need to get me some dinner. And fish fins are to eat too. Well, I've eaten fins myself when they were fried really crispy, so you bite into them and they're like a potato chip. Well, thank you, Pat. Yeah, and a lot of times when I go fishing, people get grossed out at me. I think when I tell them I've done it. If I go fishing and I clean fish and all the scraps from the fish, I throw it in my compost tea bucket. My 32-gallon containers, I've thrown them right in there. And you'll be surprised because it don't smell like you think it would. After a couple of days in this Texas heat, that fish is cooked. It don't smell like fish anymore, but it makes the compost tea real rich to water your plants with. And the plants love it. I haven't had any for a long time because I haven't been fishing to catch anything. Okay, Kathy, well, I got to sign out too. We've been on for almost an hour and 40 minutes, so I think I'm going to get off of here, get me some dinner, and get some more things done this evening before it gets dark. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming into the live, though, especially when it was not planned or scheduled. Love every one of you. Y'all have a blessed night. Have a safe day. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye now. Love y'all.